If you play missions or heists in GTA 5, you will definitely need good vehicles, but there is a catch. You can't use a lot of good vehicles in the missions like the Oppressor Mark II or the Toreador, so today I will show you the best vehicles to use in the missions or the heists. Starting from the 5th place is none other than the Nightshark. It is a really great armored vehicle, and you might ask why is it in the 5th place then? And to put it simply, there are just better vehicles in the list, which I will talk about in a short bit. The Nightshark is a strongly armored vehicle against rockets withstanding 26 homing rockets, which is just an insane amount of rockets that this car can withstand. But even with the amazing armor, the windows of the car can be still shot through unless you get the window armor, which will look like it adds a lot, but the only functional armor will be just the front window plates. The side window plates don't do nothing apart from look good. And to add to that, the Nightshark's best feature, the armor, is quite useless in the missions. Let me explain. In the missions and the heists, only enemies will be the NPCs, and the NPCs will only shoot you and won't fire any rockets at you, meaning the armor is useless since it won't get used apart from the really few missions that will spawn helis with homing rockets. Don't get me wrong, the Nightshark is an amazing vehicle in free roam and in missions, but there are better options, so let's look at them. In 4th place is the Insurgent Pickup Custom. It is also a really armored vehicle withstanding the same 26 homing rockets as the Nightshark does. But this vehicle has one special feature. Insurgent Pickup Custom has a turret on the top where you can have either a stock machine gun or even upgrade it to the minigun option. So in missions where you have more than one person, Insurgent Pickup Custom will be a better vehicle since you will always have a turret gunner to help you against the enemies. To add to that, you can upgrade the Insurgent Pickup to have better armor, which won't make the vehicle withstand more rockets, but the armor upgrade will help against small arms fire, and it will add this basket armor to the gunner, so he will be less likely to be shot out of the gunner position. The driver will also be able to defend himself since he will have mines which he can drop behind the Insurgent to explode any enemies that are trying to catch up. This vehicle is also quick on the acceleration, and it is really good off-road or even when you need to drive over stuff, which you will likely need to do in the missions to get away from cops, enemies, or just to get to the weird spots on the map where you are sent to do the mission. In the 3rd place we have the Weaponized Tampa. Tampa is an insanely good vehicle because of the minigun on the roof. When you get this car, you will probably think that the car is pretty bad since it will have a minigun on the top which you can only shoot straight, and it is quite useless that way. But to get the better version, you will have to go and upgrade the car and buy the dual remote minigun. Now this minigun version will be much better since it will have not one but 2 miniguns which you will be able to control with your mouse or joysticks and shoot in any direction you want. The minigun will be so useful if you are doing missions alone, since you can just sit in your car and drive around and eliminate all the enemies without a problem. But just be careful since the windows on this car are quite large, and if you are not careful, enemies will shoot you out of the car. To add to that, this vehicle also has proximity mines, rockets which are not homing, they are just rockets that shoot straight, and lastly, from the weapons, this car also has a mortar cannon which launches explosive mortars backwards. This vehicle, unlike the others on the list, won't be able to withstand any rockets, but as mentioned earlier, you won't need this car to withstand the rockets since the NPCs don't have the rockets. Overall, this is an amazing vehicle to use in the missions solo or even with friends, but obviously you as the driver will be doing most of the shooting. Now we are getting to the top 2 cars, and the second best is none other than the armored Kuruma. I'm guessing all of you already know about this car, but let me explain this car to anyone that doesn't already know why it is so good. Firstly, it is not that expensive at $700,000, so anyone can buy it. Second of all, and the best part about it, is that this car is almost 100% bulletproof against bullets, meaning that enemies can try to shoot you while you are in the car, but no one will be able to even damage you. And the best part about the armor is that you can still shoot from the car. So you can pull up to the spot where the enemies are located and shoot them down with your gun without worrying about getting shot, which is just so amazing. Of course, this car also has some drawbacks. It will explode on the first missile you fire at it, but as I stated already a few times, the NPCs don't have access to the rockets, so you don't have to worry about that. To add to all of that, this car is all-wheel drive, so it is both fast fast and nimble, which is really useful for the missions. And to top it all off, it also seats 4 people, so you can fit all your crew inside this car. And you might have noticed, with all these good features, it is still in the second place, so let's get to the best car for the missions, which might be a controversial opinion. The best car for missions, in my opinion, and please don't fight me, is the Vigilante. It is one of the most expensive cars you can buy in this game, and it is quite good. And let's start at the car's back. As you can see, it has a giant rocket booster on the back, which makes this car the fastest road car in the game, meaning that for the missions where you need to go across the map, this vehicle will be the fastest way to get there. And when you get there, you will also have an awesome offensive weapon. Vigilante has one of the best track and homing rockets in the game, which are really useful. You can use the rockets to shoot all the enemies, and no matter where are they standing, the rockets almost all of the time will hit the target you have locked onto. The rockets will be also useful against the helicopters, since they will hit them on the first try and you won't need to worry about them. I would also like to point out that you will only have 30 homing rockets, but from my experience that is more than enough for the missions. Vigilante also has bullet resistant windows. Notice I said bullet resistant and not bulletproof, since the windows will only stop some small arms fire until it breaks, and after that enemies will be able to hurt you. But with this car's speed and the small windows, I don't think you will have to worry about enemies shooting at you. Overall, if you have the money, the Vigilante will be an awesome car to use in the missions. And if you don't have almost $4 million to spend for a car, you can still use Kuruma, which will serve you really good during the missions. So these are the best vehicles for the missions that I have found from my experience. I would also like to add that the Toreador was the best car for the missions, but not that long ago on an update, Rockstar removed the Toreador from the vehicles that you can use in the missions, which is quite unfortunate. Maybe you know other vehicles that are great for the missions, so leave that in the comments down below. If you like the video, please subscribe, and as always, I will see you lovely people in the next one. Have a wonderful day.